Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Eustace Farmer, and as always, I hope you're doing well today. I would like to welcome you to episode 1 in my Thornton Farm Let's Play series. So, there's a couple of new things going on here. First of all, hey, a new map. I am just thrilled to play this. Thornton Farm by Oxygen David. It's absolutely fantastic. I've also decided to delve into the wonderful world of soil management. So I have installed the soil mod on this map, and I'm going to be doing that. And no need to worry. After watching a lot of my other YouTubers, I've noticed there is one bone of contention with everybody is that they don't like to see a lot of spray work, and you won't. There will be some, but if you've watched even some of my other videos, I don't put you through harvesting an entire field in one episode. I do a lot of jump cutting, stuff like that. And on especially really big fields, I'll even save part of it for another episode, but I try not to do that. I try to get it over with in one episode. I just do most of it off cam. Anyway, getting back on track, I would like to give a big shout out to an awesome guy. His name is Rever, and he has a YouTube channel. It's called Rever Farms. I'll leave a link down in the description. Go and check him out. If you want to know anything about soil mod, he is fantastic. He's very, very in-depth. He's a really smart guy, but he's a really nice, patient guy. If you have any questions, he's pretty good about answering those. And it's just, this is also something that it just takes some hands-on experience. It's trial and error. It's, win or lose, fail and succeed. You're going to go through it all. So I'm personally rather excited about this. I think it's about time that I do this. I'm also going to be delving into Auto Combine and maybe Auto Tractor mod, so I'm going to be looking to download that, and I'd like to get a little familiar with it before I use it. So there's a few exciting things coming along the pike. So as I go through this, I would greatly appreciate anybody that has any soil mod management. If you would like to share your tips with me, I'm very accessible. You can talk to me down in the comments section. I'm usually very good about responding pretty quick. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram. I'm on it all. So you can private message me, email me, however you'd like to do it. Whatever makes you most comfortable. I would really appreciate it. And hey, if you just want to say hi, that's great too. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, what I figured I would do first of all is maybe I would like to do a harvest today, and at least get this field over here started. One being that it's barley, so we'll get some hay bales out of that, and we'll get some grain to feed our fattening animals and our chickens. So yeah, we'll get started with that. But first, I thought I would give you just a little walk around of the yards just to show you some of the equipment that I've purchased to set up the farm. This map is hard mode, yes, but I loaded all the equipment that I would like to have in the map to start off. I've done the real hardcore struggle where you have to use the in-game little tiny stuff and you can't afford this and can't afford that. It's enough right now with soil mod. I would like to have my toys. So as long as you don't mind, I'd like to show you around a little bit. So over here, these are the two sprayers that I decided I'll go with for now. This one being because I have a Massey Ferguson tractor and a Fendt tractor that has row crop tires. So mount this on the back and that'll make a very low footprint. If the field is really big, I have this one. It's the same working width, but this holds 8,000 versus this I think is 3,000 liters. So we've got this big boy here, and the tires on this are not too bad. So we could still keep in line with our tram lines. But, when it's a massive field, I'm not going to be doing that little thing. That's just ludicrous, crazy talk. So then I have this Taurus Dutzfar mod tractor. Multicolor. You can color it any color that you like. I really like that a lot. It has some great engine sounds, which you'll hear. It's got some nice big fat gnarly wheels. So obviously we won't be doing any spraying with that one. But this is good for, plowing and cultivating and hauling things around. It's just an all-out fun, awesome tractor. And then I came across this little gem. Now, I will say, okay, it's a little over the top with the shine business. I would like to see some more matting on that, especially on the blacks. Okay, if you want to put it on the yellow, that's fine. But, I mean, even on the workings of the tracks, you know, a little over the top with that. But as far as that goes, everything else about this tractor I really like. I tested it out, and it pulls some of my biggest equipment uphill with no drive control going. It's great. So you're going to be seeing that in action too. So, and then over here in our little seating area, I have my Veristat seeder that I love. I do use the real big one sometimes, but it's got that tandem cultivator thing going on it, and it's really hard to wrangle around sometimes. It's kind of like the John Deere air seeder, just a smaller version. And it could be real hard to wrangle. So I like something that I can turn around and back up easily. And then I have this field service unit. So, and this does work with soil mod. And at first I was a little perplexed because I thought I would have to fill it up and then bring it down to the field, and it had limited supply. But no, this acts just like one of the in-game stations here. It doesn't need to be filled up. And as you utilize it on field, it will deduct the money from your account. So, but this is going to be very convenient when we're, you know, across the other side of the map, because I'd like to really try to get into doing some of the nice fields further away from the main farm. I tend to huddle around main areas, and I'm trying to get away from doing that. Especially like when I'm playing in Galvin Valley, there's some absolutely beautiful fields that are not so close to the farm that I, you know, really love playing. So, okay. So over here we've got the cement weight, and I've got this great bale grab. Now this is for square bales. As you see, I'm going to give it a shot with the round bales. Not usually a fan, but I love the Krone Ultima, so I would really like to give it a chance. So, but when I do square bales, you can pick up about 2 at a time with this one. You just place it over the top, push the button, it locks them on there. Great for bale stacking. I'm going to try it with the round bales too. It might work. I'm not sure. And then I've got a nice old cement counterweight. And then over here, obviously the Krone Ultima. And then I've got this bale trailer. It picks up all kind of pallets and other stuff too. So this was really convenient. You know, sticking out the side there a little bit, but we won't look there. Just look over here. So yeah, it put all my wraps and foils in there, my netting and foils. And then over here we've got our Massey Ferguson 6613. I didn't go with the drop nose. I wanted something, I love the drop nose Massey Ferguson, but I wanted something that's also a little bit more powerful that can handle some other duties on the farm, like doing the sprayer, because this is the one with the row crop tires. So we'll be using this for spraying, and we can also use it for pulling our header around. I don't use the little header trailer because every time I come into the game, this is on the ground. And if it's parked in the garage, it's really a task to try to get it. You got to keep resetting it, and you know, it just defeats the purpose. So this is our Class Lexion series. I just love, this is my go-to harvester. So yeah, and then over here, I'll get to those little gems in a second. This is our water supply. So I have the Zunhammer. I'm using this for the water. So that's for the fattening animals and the chickens, and then for feeding our chickens the grain, to put on the Massey Ferguson, I got the coordinating front loader arm, and then the standard in-game little stole bucket, and that's, they won't even take that much grain for 6 days, so that's plenty. And I just leave it there, just drive in, snap it on, and go to it. It might even be more convenient to put that over in the yard, being that that's where I'll be getting the grain. So I might be moving that. Oh, and I did put one of my placeable haul sheds here over this, just to give myself a little bit more storage. As you see, I like to put, as much stuff under cover as I can. I'm just obsessive about that. And yes, the tree is clipping through the roof. But if we can just pretend, I've seen structures in real life where they don't want to cut down a magnificent old tree, and they will actually accommodate the structure around the tree. They'll drill holes through the roof and seal it and all that. So let's just pretend that that's what's going on here. I did try to cut this bugger down, and it doesn't. So it's Giants editor placed. So anyway, so this is a Unimog. And I actually saw this when I was watching a Mr. Species 7 farming video. He's doing a map called Old Streams, and he had this little job going, and I was like, oh, cool. I said, I got to find this and check it out. So here it is. And he's usually pretty good about putting links down in his description, too. But I noticed he had given a link to someone there, so I went and followed it myself. And it comes with AR-like modules. Now, these AR modules also might fit my other truck, but I have separate ones for my Mercedes Semi. But, yeah, it comes with all the little AR modules. And then it comes with some big wonky thing. It looks like a big shipping yard-like rig thing. I don't know what that's all about. I'll have to do a little research on that. But sometime I'll bring it out and I'll show you. It's like, I was like, whoa. Anyway, over here, I decided to utilize this shed because I just love it. Let me see if I can get in there. Knock, knock. Hello. So I decided I'm going to put my Fendt silage forager in here, and with two of the attachments. So the foraging header and the corn header. The other one doesn't fit through the door when it's mounted. It's too wide. Because these implements, they have, this has a 10.5 meter working width, whereas the biggest one for the Krone has a 10 meter working width, I think it is. So yeah, these are big. So what I did was I got the Krone header trailer, and I put another shed out in the cow pasture, and I put it out there because, you know, you can't back up those header trailers, and I have trailer assist, and when it comes to those little, you know, tandem swivel things, man, it just doesn't cut it. So I like to have a pull through. And then over here, I came across this little cat dozer. So I figured we'll use this to compact the silage. Now, I tried to put my roller on the back of this, my compacting roller on the back, but it just doesn't want to have it. So we'll use this on its own and see how it does. And you can put weights in the front of this, too. It has a little selection that you can put some counterweights on the front so that make it even heavier, and you'll see it actually sink into the ground. So it's really cool. Another little washer. I try not to be too obsessive about washing. I want to show the equipment with little character and little use. But, you know, when it gets ridiculous, especially on this map, the mud, I mean, you can get it to the point where you can't see out the windows. So, and then we've got our windrowing equipment. So I'll put this on the front when I'm doing bale collecting, just so I don't have to stay right on the swath. You know, this gives me a little wiggle room, which is very nice. So, yeah, I still have to get a tedder. And I haven't decided on the mowing equipment yet. I think for the big Krone mower, I may rent that instead of keeping that on the farm all the time, because I'm not going to do a tremendous amount of mowing. There's going to be some, obviously, but we won't be using the Krone the big one that often. So that might be something good to rent. I do have a little John Deere riding mower that I'd like to bring in, and I have, you know, a Fendt front mower that actually has two working widths. So it has the widespread and a swath row. So that's really the only difference. It looks massive, but it's pretty much the same working width as the in-game one. But it just has those extra features, and it's just really cool, and I like it. And of course, we have our little 698. I don't like to have a map without it. I just love that little tractor. It's got actually a lot of power, especially if you use all-wheel drive with drive control. You can pull a lot of stuff with that thing. So it's a good little around-the-yard tractor. Keep things tidy and organized. I don't like to go searching all over the map for my equipment. So out here I decided I'll go ahead and I'll put the foraging wagon and my grain wagon. And we may be adding to this collection too, because I have the Marston grain trailers and the Roll Speed. I have those. I have a few other ones. So here's the cutting disc, you know, for the grain and the grass to silage that up for the Fendt forage harvester. It's on the Krone trailer. So this works out great out here. Just pull right through, drop it off, you're done. I did try to back it in that shed just because I'm a wacko like that. And, you know, a couple of minutes went by and I was like, you know what? It's time for a shed. Hey, got a chicken hawk up here. You can stay away from my rooster. And then over here, I got this Cot Girant milk trailer. So that's what we'll be delivering our milk in. And let's see, one other thing I think I'd like to show you, if you don't mind. Now, everything that I use on any of my Let's Play series and that you see in my mod showcases, they're going to be in a Google spreadsheet link down in the description. Just click on that link and you'll find it all. As a matter of fact, hold on a second. Here we are. So here's my spreadsheet. I just got done doing this yesterday. I had it on a Google Doc, and that was a bit cumbersome because every time I add something new, it would shift things all out of whack, and it was a lot more arranging and arranging business and all that. So I decided to just go ahead and do it as a spreadsheet. Then I can just, you know, add a row up or down, delete a row. So this is going to work out fantastic. So you're going to see I've got the websites here and to all the software and equipment that I use for my recording, and then the maps that I own, well, that I play on. I don't own them, obviously. And here's all my tractors, harvesters. Now, I don't have a massive list. I've seen some people, they have a list that's pages long. I don't have a lot of mods, but the ones I do have, I love. So, and then vehicles is like, you know, Chevy pickup truck. This is a compactor. It's that compactor beta. It looks like a big steamroller with spikes on it. It's pretty cool. So here's all my tippers and trailers and bale trailers and all that. And then, so I did download this one off of FSUK, and I can't for the life of me get it to show up in my game. I've even taken all the contents and put it into another zip folder, that Amazon spreader that where the cover opens, because I have the big bag mod, so I want to try to use that. But I can't get it to show up in the game, so I'm going to have to work on that. So if you know anything about that, please let me know. Here's all my placeables, and then the scripts down here, adjustable mirrors, everything. And you'll find a lot of the required mods for the maps. You'll find links to some of that stuff down here as well. And anytime I put a comment next to something, you'll see it highlighted in yellow. So I try to make it as easy as possible. If you're having a hard time finding something on here, just send me a message or whatever in the comments, and I'm happy to help you out. I figured this is going to streamline things for me a little bit too, so I can pump out episodes a little quicker. Rather than trying to keep track of every mod that I use in every episode on each map and then putting it in the description when it's already in here, to me it's kind of a little redundant. So I figure you'll discover what you've seen in the video plus a whole lot more. So I hope that works out for you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the bale truck real quick. So this is a mod. It comes with a Scania and an Iveco truck, and it also comes with, you know, trailers that you could pull independently with the rigid neck and the dolly style neck, and you can pull them in tandem with this. So, and the ones with the rigid neck will hook onto here very nicely, and you could still back this sucker up, which is great. But yeah, you can put any, you know, all your pallets, wool, everything on here, hay, straw, you name it. And they're multicolor, so you can choose whatever color you like. I'm starting to, I think you'll start to notice that there's a certain color that I like a lot. I like orange, and I like that sunny orangey yellow. So I think that's about it over here. And then over here, this rack I just used to put my bale fork, and this bucket fits on the telehandler. Now this is the wheel loader bucket, and that special little adapter allows you to put it on the telehandler, so you can have a 6400 unit bucket on your telehandler. And then this is the big bag mod forks, and I gotta tell you, I don't know how long big bag mod's gonna last. I'll try it, but I gotta tell you, the forks alone are a real pain in the rump. You take them off and they can flip forward and sink into the ground. You gotta reset them. The forks are really finicky. The whole thing is really finicky. the bags, when you hook them up, you know, if you even look sideways at them, they'll start flying around and flailing around and fling everything to Kingdom Come. So I'm going to give it a try, but I can't make any promises that you're going to see it have a long-lived future here. And then in here's my JBC telehandler. So, and that may move out of here as well, because this is the repair shop. So eventually. But I thought it was a good place to tuck it away for now. And then I've got a couple of these trailers. You know, you saw the black one. There's the yellow Eager Beaver. So that's it. So why don't I go ahead and we'll jump in a harvester and we'll get set up and we'll do a little bit of a harvest. Oh, and I put, just so you guys know, if you haven't played this map yet and you're going to, I put that fencing, that wooden fencing's in my mod list too. I put it around that area. It makes a parking area, but it also cordons off that drop-off over there. It looks benign, but there's quite a steep little drop-off over there. So this is the area that you go to get into the field. And this field is where your vehicles reset to. So, yeah. Okay. Let's go, my friend. I'm trying to get to using all my toys before FS17 comes out. And I mean, Farming Simulator 15 is not going to just go up on the shelf. I'm still going to be playing it, and I'm still going to be putting out videos because, you know, let's face it, it's going to take a little while before we get some really good mods for the game and stuff. So let's turn around. It's going to take a little bit to get up to snuff with that. And, you know, I think, you know, Farming Simulator is probably going to put out, you know, the basic core game. That way the modders can, you know, enjoy expanding upon that. And, you know, I used to complain about that. And I used to say to myself, oh, man, you know what? These guys are so lazy and all that. But you know what? Not really. Not really at all. They actually... I was listening to the marketing manager for Farming Simulator talking, and he was saying that they intentionally have it like this because they want the game to be totally customizable. You know, they hand you the Giants editor, they give you a tutorial on how to use it, and they want you to take what they've started and expand upon it and make it your own world. And man, have the modders ever... I mean, they've really done that. I mean, this map, this is like unrecognizable from Farming Simulator vanilla maps. This is a whole nother game. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great philosophy. And I mean, the new game, what is it, $35? You know, I've played, you know, games that are, you know, put out the bare minimum, and you know, you've paid $60 for it. So, $35. I mean, come on. And I mean, the equipment's ultra detailed. They do a great job. I'm very grateful that they're still continuing this franchise. You know, and let's face it, folks. All us Farm Simulator people, we're kind of a unique boutique enclave bunch. You know, we take some flack from people, you know, oh, Farming Simulator, huh? But they don't understand the game. And I've had people, even within my own circle of friends, and once they watch the video, they're like, oh my, I thought it was like Farmville or something. And I was like, no. You know, I said they try to get as close to real farming as they can. And I said, this is no Farmville on Facebook. Let's see here. There we go. Now, I think, I don't remember if I locked it on there, because every time you leave the game, okay, good, the trailer unlocks the header, but thank goodness it still stays on. Okay, let's see here. Let's snap it on, and off we go. And hopefully we can navigate through our little antique collection here. All right. makes a nice little out-of-the-way parking space. And those fences are a nice reminder. Don't go down that hill, Eustace, because your trailer will bounce like a beach ball. So let's see. Let's fire up the old Dutz here. Oh yeah, baby. And if I remember later, before I go, I'll fire up the Cat Challenger and let you hear that. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do it now for you, because I'm going to forget. I can guarantee that. So let's go ahead and jump her in here. So I'll pull it around a little bit. Really nice. There we go. And I don't think there's any IC control in this tractor, but that's quite all right with me. That's okay. I'll still love it. Hello, chicken. Rooster. Definitely got to buy my chickens. It's not like you make any windfall money, as you know, with the eggs, but it's just nice to have them around. I think animals bring the farm alive. Okay. So let's see if I can get in there without hitting the pole. There we go. Jump out. Do a little Manuel attach. Excellent. And away we go. Let's go this way. Get a little mud action going. This tractor's a little too bright and purty, isn't it? There we go. Nice. Plus it's a warm day, so it's nice and cool now. And if you hear that clippity-clop noise, that's the trailer sounds mod. I thought that was pretty cool. Right, so here we go. There we go. Oh, I forgot about that part. I should have shut off the swath until I got in the field. Oh well, live and learn. So if you notice up in the top right-hand corner of the screen above my money, just a little tiny number 3 there. Because I'm a noob, I set the soil mod to do its calculation and reset every 3 days. So, and if truth be known, I think if you wanted to be really realistic, and I'm no farmer obviously, but I come from a family of farmers, but I, you know, never worked in the fields. If you, I mean, what crop really grows ready to harvest in 3 days? But I mean, obviously in Farming Simulator, you know, a month or 2 months, or what, you know, how many months it takes before they're ready to harvest. I mean, you can't really do that in Farming Simulator and not get bored out of your skull, because there'd be nothing to do. So I get all that, but I figure 3 days is good, because there's going to be times where I'm going to have to speed up time regardless anyway. So yeah, oh, getting up in the 6 there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my cruise control a little bit, and that'll keep the header from jamming with grain, because it likes to go between 4 and 5 miles an hour. Let's try 5. See how that goes. Yeah, it's still giving me a little warning, but I think we're okay as long as it's blinking. It does sense inclines and declines in the terrain also, so you know, sometimes you think you have it perfect and then you're going down a hill and it speeds up just enough to give you that warning. So another thing I can do, let's see, left alt. Let's see what happens if I do left alt while we're doing that. We can get a camera going. There we go. Let's see which one we like. I think I'd like to have it on the header, because as you see, I'm halfway in the grass. There we go. Something a little more respectable. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let's bring it down a notch. There we go. It's a handy little thing, that camera, especially when you're driving in cab. And we're at almost 88% already. All right. Oop. There we go. So I'm going to pull this way a little bit so we don't crush the crops. That way we can get the tractor in there. There we go. That ought to do it. All right, let's get on the grass and get off the straw. Nice little river down through here. Could see the church in the center of town from here and the canola fields. This is beautiful. What a nice office, huh? Oh yeah. This tractor and trailer look like it's been out here for years now. So what I'll do is, I'll run this back to the yard. We'll dump it in the silo. And then I'll come back and I'll make some progress on this field, and I'll check in with you, you know, like the halfway point, and then again when I'm on my last couple of passes. So we'll do that. Now, for future episodes, as I've said on my other Let's Plays, if you would like to see more of this, rather than me cutting out large chunks, just say so. It's no problem. If I get enough people that want it, I'll do it. It's really not a problem at all. I just like to try to keep you folks interested and not have you go into a coma. Okay. We shall deposit here. Now let's see if we can back this in from inside. Should be able to swivel that right in there. All right. Smooth as butter. And this is another reason why I like this trailer, and I noticed the Marston does it also. This is a push, so it doesn't tilt up in the air, so it won't bang into the roof. So awesome. So we have our barley in there. So this will be great. We'll have some feed and some straw. Sorry about the swinging around of the mouse there. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see. And of course, once I park down here, the next time he'll probably be on the other side of the field when he gets full. All right. Cool. All right, so I'm going to get to work, and I will check back with you in just a split second for you. So see you in a second. All right, everybody. So while you were away, Eustace will play. During my little jump cut here, I decided to have some lunch, and I don't know, I just don't like sitting still during lunch. I'm one of those guys. So I decided I'm going to look into auto combine. So as you see, he's auto combining away, and I really like it a lot. So I know probably some of you are like, oh man, you know, you're such a noob, dude. You know, many people have been using auto combine probably since FS13, but being that I'm new to PC, I'm kind of you know, getting into things, you know, a little bit at a time. So that being said, I decided let's just go ahead and dive in, and I did it, and it's relatively pretty simple. It's nothing like Courseplay. If you're wondering where I'm going, by the way, I'm going down to the Blue Sphere stores. Wheat is up. So, and I assume that will change at 1 o'clock. So I wanted to get some product down there to sell. I already took one load, so I thought I'd have you take a ride with me, and we'd chit-chat a little bit if that's all right. So, yeah. Okay, hold on. So, Fat Mama can't make it around the corner here. All right. Yeah, this tractor is a little wide to be going down the road with, so I am going to maybe use the Fendt, something like that, because, you know, it's good for field work, but it's not doing such a hot job down here. And that's not all the tractor's fault. That's my fault too. It's kind of hard for me to stay centered. But anyway, getting back to the farming simulator technology aspect of things, yeah, I you know, like to get into things, you know, a little bit at a time so as not to get overwhelmed. So that was a good move, I think, and that's going to really streamline things here. It afforded me to do this because I was like, oh man, you know, wheat is up and I have to sit here fooling around with this. The heck with it, I'll just do it. So let's see, we could take a right here or we can go straight. Let's go straight for a change. So yeah, I mean, we were the last people in my family to get a color TV when I was a kid. As a matter of fact, I watched black and white TV until I moved out in the 90s. So, yeah. It was something else. So the first time I saw, you know, I treated myself to a nice, it was a 27-inch color TV. It's like, you know, big time, you know, big screen, vacuum tube TV. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, so this is what my programs look like in color. So, yeah, I grew up with a single mom, so she didn't have a lot of money, and it was fine. I didn't watch a whole lot of TV as it was, and I'd rather have food on the table than color TV. So, a little background. I come from a very, very hardworking family. Well, we had a little bit in the silo too. Well, maybe we'll make it on the next trip. Okay, so this time we'll go back the other way. And we'll just do a little razzle-dazzle here. As long as I don't screw it up and lose my way. So I think right after the bridge I take a right and go down the dirt road. Yeah, the first time around I came over this bridge, I hit it a little too fast and the front end went flying up in the air. So here we are. Nice brake check. Good thing there's nobody behind me. Nice shady dirt lane here. So as I said, yeah, I might be switching out this tractor during the next little jump cut. I really enjoy driving this, but you know, if you're going to get stuck on the turns, then it's kind of, you know, see, a little counterproductive. And he just narrowly makes it over the bridge. Kind of put a little pinstriping on the tires there with the stone on the bridge. Field 11's going to be pretty fun too. I'm glad I did get the auto combine because I'm going to need it on that field. And once I get back through the yard, we'll check the menu and make sure that the wheat is still up. Like I said, I know the prices change every hour on the hour. So, let's see. We can go straight or we can take a left and come in this way. Usually, the last time the combine was full, he was down on the southwestern side of the field. So, and let's see. Wheat is 100%. He's full already. So, let's get on over to him. And there he is, down the southwest corner of the field. And while he's filling up, we'll have a look at the menu. Okay. So wheat is still up, so I got time for probably one more run with this, and then that'll be that. Yeah, 10 minutes. So I'll take this and then whatever's left over in the silo and buzz on down there, and we're making pretty decent progress. I think I'm going to go ahead and try up and down mode, because he's been going in circles for quite a while. I've just kind of, it's been working, so I just kind of let him do his thing. He had a couple of hiccups, but we established that's because he was looking at his cell phone while he was driving the combine, so I asked him not to do that. And so let's see, let's wait till maybe it gets down to the end, because I notice sometimes when you change on the fly, it takes like one cycle for him to recognize. What the heck? We're living dangerous today. Let's go ahead and do it now and see what happens. I mean, I don't think there's any harm in keep going around in circles until it gets, you know, too thin to keep going with that, but I'd like to try the up and down and see how that goes. Alright, let's see if he recognizes it. He's probably going to do some kind of crazy turn. Poor guy. I confused him. Come on, Bobby. You can do it. You've pushed... Oh, wow. Alright, I think we got it. I'm not going to beat my tambourine just yet. Yep. He's on it. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, finish my little runs, and I will be back to you when we're just, like I said, in about the last couple of passes. But I just thought I'd check in with you, and I was excited to show you that, hey, Eustace Farmer the Ninny is putting on his big boy pants. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so the auto combine was was so efficient that while I was doing my little running around, he pretty much finished the field. So I saw that he was getting full, and I was like, oh, let me go up there and grab a load off him, and he was done. So there we have it. Field 13 done. So I think in the next episode, we'll go ahead and windrow the field. There's a lot of rows here, so I have the big windrower, so I'd like to go ahead and get this rowed up and then get some bales out of this and some loose straw. There's just a phenomenal amount of swath here, so I think this is going to take care of our needs for a little while. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and well, take a ride with me. Actually, we'll go down to the yard and dump this in the silo. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll bear with me as I'm learning this soil mod. And as I've said before, you know, if you have any tips or suggestions or anything, I'm happy to take those and put them to good use. And you never know, maybe it's maybe as time goes on, maybe I'll be able to teach you something. Who knows? But that won't be happening right now. All right, let's see. Let's back it in there. Cut it nice and hard. And as you see, I did switch out for the Fendt. It's 125 horsepower, so it's just enough to really get the job done with this one trailer. So it's going to work out well. There we go. All right. So I hope you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I thank you very much for tuning in and watching. And I hope to see you again in future episodes. So I'll say take care and be well, and talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.